Hey everyone, welcome to Smash Trivia. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia to follow everything happening with me. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. So excited to get into this. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, in this series, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and I also do random other geeky films. Occasionally, not so geeky ones too. And I also like to mix things up once in a while by not reviewing anything. Hope you enjoy Smash Trivia Presents The Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening if they can please do something for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. And Smash Trivia has a Patreon too, so please check that out. We have some fantastic extra content on there. I bet you'll have a Hulk smashing good time. The tiers are as follows: $1 a month is Hulkaholic for $1, $3 a month is the Reading Room with Hulky and Shulky, and $5 a month is Smashing the TV. I also now offer custom trivia games on Fiverr, so if you want to take your game night to the next level, you can hire me. A link to the Fiverr is in the episode description. Now that we have all that important stuff out of the way, let's smash right into this episode. Hello, my Gamma friends. Today I'm joined by Avon, which is at MagicHandz on Twitter, to review the Marvels. How you doing, Avon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited to talk about this film real quick. First, as always, for our Hulkaholic for $1, we have Derek Sager, Gabriel Floral, and Film Critter. All right, let's get into this review. I absolutely loved this film. This was for me. This was exactly the kind of thing I wanted to see out of a Marvel film.
Yeah.
It had the exact kind of silly ridiculousness that I want out of the comics, and it also had this feeling of it's just three friends hanging out that I've been wanting to get for a while, that I haven't been feeling a lot it like I feel like one of the last times with the movies I felt that was with the party in Age of Ultron, where it felt like like it was people hanging out together, and that they enjoyed the being superheroes.
Yeah. We don't get that anymore because ever
Yeah.
since then, ever
Oh, I
since
know.
then,
We
it's
have so much crazy threats.
yeah, it's always crazy threats over and over, like to just, everybody's
Mhm.
coming to destroy Earth and stuff.
Yeah.
But like what you said, I want that too. We need that, especially for Young Avengers. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
watched every I watched every Marvel Rising episode, and the thing that stuck with me, like besides the superhero stuff, those characters, they were like going to restaurants and eating vegan donuts and chilling, and then and they're
Oh
bonding.
yeah.
And we don't even have training scenes in these movies,
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh
for
yeah.
example, X-Men 3. X-Men 3 just had one scene at the beginning when we thought they were in trouble, and then Logan came out, with the cigar and lit the,
Oh yeah.
well,
I remember that.
he destroyed the Sentinel, and he lit a cigar and was like, "Class is over," or something like that. It was like that was nice, but we
Mm-hmm.
didn't know they were training. It just looked nice. And let's see, when have we had a? There hasn't been a training scene since, uh,
I
unless
feel
it was
like
like
there
Shang.
was. I feel like there was like something for Endgame, but it was only shown in the trailers. Is where it was Black Widow shooting in a gun range.
Yeah, yeah, that was only for trailers.
Yeah, like I don't know why that of all scenes they would have done just for trailers. Not like that's gonna get us hyped for Endgame, but
I wonder, yeah, because like I mean, she wasn't even in the final battle, so I guess they had to put something in the trailer.
maybe.
But sometimes, every once in a while, when it comes to Endgame, I wish they did keep Black Widow and Hawkeye's scene where they the deleted scene in
Yeah,
Vormir.
where they were fighting Thanos on the on there. If I remember
Yeah,
right, him and his army.
yeah. Sometimes I wish they would have kept that, but I know they said the movie already had so much action they had to slow down for that moment, which was great too.
Yeah.
But back to the training scenes, like for Young Avengers, I need more training. I need more bonding. I need
Oh
more
yeah.
restaurant visits, bowling nights, anything
Yeah.
to show that these
Like
young ones are actually a team and family and getting to know each
hmm
other.
like say we were to get a Young Avengers show on Disney Plus, I would want there to be an episode where there's no big battle. It's literally them just hanging out in a house together.
Hmm.
I think that would be so much fun to see.
Wherever an Avengers compound is,
Yeah.
we still need to make sure they even
Oh
build
yeah.
one, and somebody has to be in charge of the team. They could do Jeremy Renner easily. I mean, he said he
Oh
wants to
yeah.
come
I
back.
could I could absolutely see that. To be honest, I think um Jeremy Renner's accident, and this may be a weird thing to say, but it might have been a saving grace for him to come back as Hawkeye, because I think had that not happened,
Hmm.
there would not have been as much hype around the idea of if they were to announce him coming back as Hawkeye, versus now, because of that happening. If they announce him coming back, people are gonna be like, yes, but us, he's getting to come back after this near death experience.
Yeah, yeah. That situation showed that he's a hero on and off screen.
Oh yeah.
It
Oh.
was a big blessing for him. Like, I mean, of course, surviving,
Mhm.
and I can't even imagine what he must have felt, during that situation. But yeah, it turned out, and that's what my mom said when she saw it. That's a real hero.
Mhm.
And I've already had extra respect for Jeremy Renner after the Hawkeye show because he gave such a "I'm over this" vibe, but he still had it.
Mhm.
Because even in episode four, my favorite scene when Yelena came in with the slick nighttime cinematography, her mask on, and she's sliding
Mhm.
across the floor fighting, and Maya, he handled Maya and Yelena with no problem. Like he got hit a little bit,
Mhm.
but at the end when he said they just hired a Black Widow assassin, this has got very real very quickly.
Oh.
We're done. Like that line was great.
Mhm.
It's the delivery of it because I like how he
Oh
handled them,
yeah.
but still here. And so bringing him back, let's see. Jeremy Renner posted a video of him jogging, and it's
Mhm.
great that he could even move that fast.
Oh
I
yeah.
I definitely 100% see him as that tactical leader. He can have a cane.
Mhm.
He can
Yeah.
cane.
If I remember when this was all going on, though I didn't really want to say this then, but I was like, I thought to myself, I bet if he ended up losing his leg, and he had to get like some kind of metal amputee leg, I bet Jeremy Renner would think it would be so cool to be a Hawkeye with the metal leg.
Oh
I
yeah, no,
bet
yeah.
he would have so much fun with that.
That's definitely okay to say because like as long as he said it first, like we all waited the whole year to speak up on it, and
Yeah,
then it was okay.
I don't know if he said that that. I'm just saying. I feel like he would enjoy that because they could make a really epic looking an amputee a leg for him as Hawkeye.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they already had him as a not cyborg. He had, metal parts in the What If episode.
Mm,
It's crazy to think that some of those episodes and character moments went hand in hand with life, you
oh
know, the going deaf and everything. So
yeah.
that's why
Mhm.
I feel like it makes it better if he did come back cuz he said in the
Oh yeah.
interview he said, I don't mind having a stunt double. I did enough in life. And then yeah. So if he's down with that and he comes back
Mhm.
with that just that cool old leader with a cane
Mhm.
and he can
Oh
teach
yeah.
tactical skills and battle tactics to all the young ones, it'll be perfect.
Oh
And then
yeah,
you
like
still have.
that.
Oh, go ahead.
That reminds me, honestly, of like I feel like we don't have many like old mentors for the in the MCU anymore, and like and that's something that I kind of miss having because I think that's it's fun having the old mentor role. Or like I was hoping right after Endgame that they would bring back um old man Steve Rogers to be in the to be who Peter talks to about Tony in Far From Home. Like I feel like that could have been a really emotional thing.
Yeah, that just goes for budgeting reasons, though.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't
Getting
think Chris Evans wants to come back at least yet.
I don't think he wants to do anything at all. I think he said he just wants to smoke and just relax now because like that took up so much of his life
Oh yeah,
and
I
just
can understand that.
acting in general. He's always had anxiety. He said I've seen like every interview. He wants to relax, which is fine.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Which is fine.
Um, uh, going back though to the actual Marvel's film.
Ah,
Um, uh, well, actually, this is a Marvel's review. I would like to get back to actually discussing the film.
oh yeah,
I really loved the dynamic between the in the three of them. I think they all gave fantastic acid performances. As especially a Amon Villani, she's just as absolutely amazing as Kamala Khan. She's one of my favorites of the recent people that they've introduced.
yeah, yeah. She's great. I just watched every interview that she did this past week.
Speaking of interviews, earlier today I saw you responding to someone who was talking about how he said in an interview that they were shooting in Young Avengers, and you said that you had not seen that. That was something that she said during her interview with Eric Voss from New Rockstars.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that she was just miss talking about, and she meant just shooting the scene with Kate Bishop.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that the other guy, Blu-ray Angel, he took it and said they're shooting now Young Avengers, and
Yeah.
you know how that guy
Uh,
is. So
oh, honestly, that scene though, it made me so happy. Seeing
oh
Kamala and
yeah.
Kate Bishop together. Um, the like the only thing I need now is them to also interact with She-Hulk, and I will be so happy because those three are easily my favorite three of the new characters that have been introduced.
Yeah, but like where
And
is Eli?
I know that would be a very hard thing to do because of She-Hulk being in Los Angeles.
Oh, well, Kamala can find her.
Yeah.
I think also I didn't get to say it. I said it and deleted it immediately because I didn't know if people would understand what I was saying. But Kamala should be able to glide across the air on her light the same way Iceman does with his ice,
Yeah.
just so she won't have to be picked up.
I could absolutely see that. That'd be a really cool thing for them to try and do in the future. Try,
That can just be an advancement to her skill set
oh
is being able
yeah.
to glide like that because I noticed she shoots it and you in the movie she shoots it and it makes a little stream for her to slide across and I can just imagine her shooting it and continuously making a bridge
Mm-hmm.
so she won't have to jump across little lily pads. That was cool for her show because they got it off of a game that Bruno was playing and that worked towards her powers, but like actually gliding so you won't have to have one of the flyers pick you up everywhere you go, that would be cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. One thing I really would like to talk about is so the villain in this. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard so many people complaining about, oh, she's so forgettable and she's the worst villain in the MCU. I'm like, no, no, there's easily worse villains. She may not be the most amazing villain in the MCU, but I enjoyed her in the film. Like like she's easily better than say Malekith from Thor: The Dark World, or the deviant guy in Eternals. I don't even remember the name of.
Crow.
Yeah, Crow. I definitely enjoyed Darben in the film, and I think that that character is getting way too much hate, as if she was had a worse performance than what she actually had.
No, she wasn't bad at all. Her motivations were exactly clear.
Oh yeah,
How many times did you see the movie, by the way?
I've only seen it once. I sadly had to wait until this past Friday to watch it because of some personal things that were happening in the family that making it so it was hard to get to the theater. But
Mm.
yeah, I've only been able to watch it once so far.
So did you hear in the movie where she said my son died? Did she say
I didn't.
her
I did not
her
hear that.
child? Yeah, I thought it was her child or the physical son.
They, I could see it easily being the physical son because of the of what we had with the climax of the film, but I don't know. I think, to be honest, like I absolutely see where she's coming from. She definitely, and though it is obviously a misunderstanding, but I can understand her being angry at Captain Marvel, if for doing that to her to the Kree home world.
Well, yeah, because she dropped a building on her 30 years ago. They made this is why, okay, let me try to explain this. Darben was great to me
Mm-hmm.
because it was a revenge story for her. What she did, Zawe Ashton did great with what she was given.
Yeah.
And the motivation was since you took away my planet and possibly killed my son and our son, I'm gonna take everything from you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she went to Atlanta, she went to Earth, and she went to Tarzan. What's the name of the Kree planet?
I
Tarzan.
I don't something like that. I'm not sure. Right.
But it made sense though. She stole
Mm-hmm.
air from one because she clearly showed her people can't breathe on their planet. They have masks on. That seemed like a COVID thing that which they kind of threw in there. But they couldn't breathe on their planet. They had no water. Everyone was starving, dying off, and that
Yeah.
was 30 years
Oh
in the
yeah.
process. It took,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, the AI system had their whole planet running when Carol destroyed it. This is
Yeah.
the second bad thing Carol's done in those 30 years that
It's
we will never get to see.
Sign that I find really funny is how in this film we have um Carol fixing promises multiple times. So you compare that to how Fury was in us in Secret Invasion. It's just like the difference is stark.
Oh yeah, he actually didn't care. The more time goes by, the madder I get at that show,
Yeah,
especially the
it's so
director for
annoying.
saying like the director said we don't need to meet your expectations. And like you made a show about conversations.
Yeah.
There was not one drop of tension in that
Uh,
show since the
it
first episode.
it still pisses me off how so I was saying from the beginning of that show, if Fury was smart, he would call in the
Yep.
Avengers, and so they and um it the penultimate episode of the show, he's like, no, I won't call the Avengers because this is my fight. Proceeds to not fight in the finale.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I mean, he can't fight. He's such an old man. And then what pisses me off even more, he never spoke to Gravik the whole entire season.
Yeah,
Not a single word. Gravik
he
had
did.
conversations with Gaia. He had
Mm-hmm.
conversations with Talos. He never once spoke to
Yeah.
Fury.
There
Fury
was
talked to his
not after Talos died. There's
uh
not a single moment of Fury a mourning him,
yeah. Yeah,
which is
he
like
didn't get to
how
mourn.
how is that? How are you not gonna have a single moment? Even if it's at the end of the show, you could have had something there. Or to show that he cared about his friend that died.
Yeah, he didn't get to mourn Maria either. I mean, they did the
Mm-hmm.
funeral, but it was
Oh,
very quick because time.
mm-hmm. It also pisses me off that that in the year 2023 we're still fridging female characters.
Yeah, because like going into that show, they even said that Maria is gonna get some time, and we're gonna spend
Mm-hmm.
time, get to know
I
her.
I still think the best thing that Maria's ever done is her episodes of Agents of Shield because she had an actual plot there. It wasn't just her being there to be beside Fury.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. Oh my god. It, I was so happy though that in this we got a fun Fury back because I hated how Fury acted in that. I'm so tired of the trope of I'm too old for this.
I mean, he is in his 70s. It just,
It,
it just would
yeah.
have been better if he did something. Like, the best part of the show was him talking to his wife. That we got
Okay.
more of that
Yeah.
than anything.
Well, everybody expected with how they ended off that show they meant that his wife was gonna appear in the Marvels. What happened with that?
Ryan Airy on Screen Crusher saying she probably died after that, or she just wasn't seen. But that's because Secret Invasion was supposed to come after the Marvels,
Mm-hmm.
so they're rearranging the mess.
Yeah, I remember that immediately when that came out, the first episode, and they announced how long it's been since Endgame. And I was like, wait, we if does that where does that mean the Marvels takes place? Since I thought it was like right after the Miss Marvel finale that we had that post credit scene of Captain Marvel appearing in her room, and that I thought was only like 2 or 3 years after Endgame.
Um,
So it,
let's
yeah, so it just made things be like, hey, what?
well, Miss Marvel physically takes place 2 years after Endgame, and that's another thing they skipped out on. They didn't get to show is Miss Marvel or Kamala has been training in the New Jersey and fighting crime. And by the time we get to the part in the
Oh.
room where she switches, she's already been doing this for a little bit. That's why
Mhm.
you get the fight scene. It's like, oh, she's actually good all of a sudden.
Yeah, I
I
I
thought,
loved that
yeah,
moment her fight scene where she's working with Fury.
yeah,
They have such a great dynamic together. That was so much fun.
yeah, yeah, and like,
And
and we were wondering why she got so good because it looks like the scene happened right after when it could have been months later.
um, one thing around that same point in the film, I do want to ask about: am I missing something, or was this a mistake in the film? So we had so at the start, she's wearing her
Yeah.
and she's getting teleported all around. Then all of a sudden, when she falls out of the sky, she's in regular clothes. Was there a moment between there where she changed?
Yeah, she changed because remember they were fighting in the
Okay,
house,
I
and then
didn't remember seeing there being a sign said of her changing. I just remember I remember her keep teleporting while she was still in the suit.
yeah, she after
Okay,
the house fight calmed down, she changed clothes and
okay,
then they talked, and
okay.
they're trying to understand the people's powers, and then the next situation happened immediately, which I understand people got mad at. They're wondering why she doesn't have her mask, but you see, she teleported straight to space, and then they had to go get her. I believe, or
Mhm.
no, they flew together, and she didn't have time
So,
to get.
what happened, I believe, was that Captain Marvel realized she's on the Kree planet, so she started trying to use her powers to get get Kamala sent back to Earth.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, Carol did?
Yeah, Carol, when they told her about this happening, that Kamala is now missing, and Carol immediately started trying to use her hours to get her sent back to the Kree place, and Kamala sent back to Earth.
Yeah. Well, they work it out. properly, just as it was going on.
Oh yeah. Um, I one that I really enjoyed. I didn't expect I would, but I really did was the musical Planet. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. And over
Like,
the year, you can tell they cut it out. There was more of
mhm.
that. We didn't get a three
Yeah,
minute
they
song
were
like,
going. Apparently, Mon Villani was going to sing too.
oh, really?
Yeah, there was and they cut it. She apparently filmed her film singing for that, and they cut it. And I'm like, I want to see that.
Yeah, I wanted to see way more because and there's some people, regardless of whoever doesn't like it, there's way more people I've seen said this was unique. They should have kept it in because everything that we've noticed in your cut is why the movie is only an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
An extra 5 minutes would have pushed it to, an hour 50,
Mhm.
and you could have seen some actual singing and dancing and lived
Oh
on that planet.
yeah. One thing I keep hearing about how even out here about how it was cut is a line between in Carol and Valkyrie about basically confirming that they were dating in the past, but that they'd be better as friends now. Now, I like I like the idea of them giving sign for to those fans and saying that they were dating in the past and that and confirming that there's more or LGBTQ characters in the MCU. But I don't think that would have been a good line if they kept that in the film. I don't think people would have been happy with that because that's basically them telling those fans, screw your idea. They're not good as a couple.
Um, that's kind of hard to say. I mean, I don't know why they cut a line like that out either, unless that was the movie rule thing. Because
Mm,
if you notice, it's the movie's in China,
mm.
and China blocks anything with
Oh yeah.
LGBTQ.
Yeah,
So
I'm expecting that they probably cut it out because of that. But I'm just thinking that I think that if it were in there, I don't think people would have been happy with that.
you don't think they would have been happy?
Yeah, I don't think they would have because that would be them telling those fans that you're wrong, that they should not be together.
I guess it goes both ways because ever since that scene came out of Valkyrie kissing her on the cheek, everyone pulled out all the artwork and the actual post from Tessa and Bree saying
Mhm.
we want to be together in these movies.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have them be together and have that be a current thing and not be a past thing.
Yeah, and that's just another result of a movie being cut down. You could have,
Hmm.
I mean, they don't. I don't think they had time to show something like that. But
I
people would
find
have.
it I find it really funny though in that scene how like so she has Valkyrie come to bring the scrolls to a safe haven, which is literally sign that I think most people were saying during Secret Wars. New Asgard exists. They could go to
Yeah.
New Asgard, and then they'll be safe. It's so funny how much this film does like tell us how they really were just dumb in with Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion was also a result of having 4 months of reshoots only because
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to stop this. I guess there was a situation with Russia invading Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't want that to bleed into the show, or something about America versus
Wouldn't be
Russia. They didn't
surprised.
want
I wouldn't be
so
surprised.
whatever.
They also changed Falcon the Winter Soldier because of the pandemic.
Yeah. So that's why now putting real world situations into the content is ruining all of them. But it depends on what it is they put in. They have to get back to making straight superhero content because even the worst, most toxic people that hate, women and all this stuff, like the critical drinker, right? Even
Yeah,
even
I've
that
heard of
guy, even that guy said there's no wokeness in this movie. There's no message, which is good. He said I
it.
appreciate that. But then you go to Nerdrotic, he found
God,
everything else
I
that
fucking hate Neurotic. He's the worst.
yeah, but he found things that I can't see And even when I listen to him, I'm like, this guy is an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
I watched every single video he's made. I don't understand it. You would think I would have absorbed so much toxicity that I would feel the same. I can't feel what he feels.
No.
I just like what I see. I love the
Like,
movies so much.
I had a friend who was telling me how they didn't like She-Hulk, and they sent me a video to try and show me exactly why. And immediately, 5 minutes into this video, even though it was like a 40-minute long video, I was like, nope, I'm not watching this because this is just as all right wing propaganda of trying to act like it's this terrible thing that hates men. Is like, no, it's not. I'm not going to brain rot myself by listening to 40 minutes of this.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, like, yeah, it's a comedy show, they tried to be funny. It didn't work. I have no problem with what they did with the incels. It's just that deleting the story, it's just it ended up with nothing. All it ended up with is what Jessica Gal wanted, was just a sex positivity show and about a girl that just wants to go on dates and live her life being a lawyer. There's no superhero stuff, which is what made people mad. And there's certain things I wanted to see that I got over now, because I was like, in that therapy session, you have six of like the most dangerous people. What is it? Abomination, Saracen, that's a vampire, Man Bull, Matador. Matador is a mutant. And then you have Porcupine. Who knows what his suit can do? I looked it up after. I seen he has some gadgets and all that. Yeah, and then you have Wrecker, but that's not the real
Uh,
Wrecking Crew.
yeah,
But
that
you have
wrecking crew was so annoying. They literally whitewashed one of them.
as I mean,
It's
I
like,
seen that
wow.
I seen that after. Like I every time something comes up, I do research and I watch, new rock stars and all of them, the positive people, and I learn
Yeah.
things. But the Wrecking Crew should have been the biggest, baddest bodybuilders you can find. That's why I don't know if you've seen the tweet the other day where I said you need Martin Ford and the other big guy. Like, you need big, big. They don't have to be the best actors, just be big, scary people. But then they made them little, weak criminals. And she said it. She said, "You guys robbed an Asgardian construction worker?" And they said, "Yeah." It was, oh, that's kind of funny. That was kind of
Yeah.
funny. But for the context, it's like you just took away four extra bad villains that could have like
Oh,
really did some damage and make some cool scenes. So I just hate that most of it is canon. Like, what we saw with the Wrecking Crew, that's it. We probably will never get them again, like a real version,
probably
or
not.
that's her take on them. I was thinking like maybe the Wrecking Crew is them before getting struck by lightning and becoming a real serious threat, but they took it away. Jessica Gal was like, "Oh, we don't need fighting. Let's make everyone cute and pleasant and nice." And that's what upset a bunch of people. I can understand from the show standpoint, but like, everybody, like, we don't get a killer abomination. We don't. The best thing about that was episode 2 when he said, "I was hocked up on that super soldier serum. I'm not that person." I was like, he was bad before that,
Yeah,
because he shot a dog.
he
Like,
was definitely bullshitting to get out of prison.
yeah, and 15 years in prison though can change you, make you a better person. So that I understand. I
Mhm.
understand also when he said, "I thought I was Captain America," because he technically was. He was going after a monster. That monster became a hero.
Mhm.
So I
Like,
understand.
my favorite episode though of She-Hulk is still the first episode because I just enjoyed the dynamic between in her and her cousin is just perfect, like in
Mhm.
my opinion. And and so that episode, I feel like I could watch it again and again. I would still laugh and have fun with it. I really hope if they do a She-Hulk season 2, we get an episode where they're actually teaming up against bad guys. I think that would be so nice to see them actually fighting them fighting someone together instead of
I
just training.
Yeah, I think also we got to think about the fact that when it came to She-Hulk, they reduced all that fighting because of the budget. She's already very hard to animate, and they made a joke out of it at the end when he was like, "Can you please go back to Jin? You're very expensive." And the team has moved on to the next project. You hear the doo-doo-doo for the
And what's really sad is how so She-Hulk as this She-Hulk, it has this CGI intensive character.
Yeah.
She-Hulk was cheaper than Secret Invasion.
Oh, as a whole.
Yeah, like that's sad that
Uh,
Secret Invasion, which is mostly practical stuff, is more expensive. And it's mostly more expensive, I believe, because of because they got so many big actors for it.
hmm. Yeah. Uh, well, we got to think about the fact budget goes towards costume designs, probably locations, uh, actors, special effects, all that counts. And they said for every show, it's 25 million
So,
per episode. And they would say, where is this budget going? You can tell for Secret Invasion, they saved it all for the end. They saved, I don't
yeah,
care what anybody
yeah, for
says.
their oh my god fight. That was that fight at the end was just wow.
It only sucks because it was literally 2 minutes. You have two of the most strongest people in the universe. They ended it
Mhm.
fast.
And what pisses me off about it is the fact that the people who made the show, you can tell they put no effort into making things be right and following making it make sense with everything that's come before or like she has Drax's tattoos, even though those are tattoos and not science DNA should be able to give. Magic is something people learn. It's not in your DNA. I feel like they just wanted to throw everything at the wall for that final episode. To me, that just like that showed how much they did not do research. They did not talk with the other people making other shows and movies. Is like if they had talked with the people who made the Marvels, it would have made sense that instead Gaia would also be a part of this teleporting entanglement stuff since she had Captain Marvel's DNA.
Unless, I mean, the only way to answer that is if she wasn't using powers at the same time. Because other than that, that was a terrible, terrible thing to do. You made
Like
her.
I'm pretty sure that the people who made Secret Invasion literally just did not talk to anybody else
Yeah.
and didn't tell them so they wouldn't be able to figure out something with that you know, but back to the Marvel. So what I really liked how for the end of this film, the fight between them and M and Darmon was not the really the big thing for the finale of the film. The big things were them getting the people off the ship with the Flurkins and repairing the hole in the multiverse. I like that because it does something that not a lot of these films do. Instead of focusing on the fighting, it's focusing on the saving aspect of being a superhero.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. They actually did that twice, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something people were waiting for a long time. But for
Yep.
this movie, they slept on that, happening. They saved all the scrolls. Yeah, they saved all the crew members, and people remember how people were saying like they don't save people anymore. It's straight up just fighting and end of the world. I mean, they
Like
gave it to you now, but now you don't want to speak on it.
yeah,
They
I'm
they
like that. I'm so happy about that because I like that's saying I remember or throughout the years with Hulk that I've been like I like him smashing, but I like just as much when he grabs people and gets them out of the way to save them from a situation. And the MCU films did not really do that much with Hulk, if any. They didn't have him doing the saving aspect, and I love that saving aspect for superheroes just as much as I love the fighting.
Yeah. Let's see. The best Hulk is Avengers and Ragnarok because that's really all we got.
Oh.
Age of Ultron, he was possessed for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's as if that when Scarlet Witch gave them all a vision, his vision was what he was doing
Mm-hmm.
because he's a monster anyway. Because she was like, I want the big one, and just sent him off. And we got more of them at the end, so we got some great scenes out of that, and that's
Oh
just
yeah.
someone
Yeah.
redemption also.
I think it's a very important thing for and to show that the humanity of superheroes by having them save people and not just as be soldiers to fight.
Yeah, they even deleted his scene of saving 4 kids with a satellite dish. Three,
Mm-hmm.
three
Yeah,
and four.
I remember that. I remember people being pissed off because they released that as the extended version of Endgame, and I found that hilarious.
Yeah, they should have. There's so many decisions that they make where they could keep just certain things, even the shortest things. And don't even get me started on Hawkeye. Every scene in those
Mm-hmm.
25 minutes was needed. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that his mom had to pickpocket people so they can get by and make money. We didn't know that. We didn't know he always was good at aiming with the arrows, and he was really skilled at that. Uh, we didn't know that Kingpin was there for Maya her whole life.
I I love the delayed scene from Hawkeye of Kingpin getting Maya ice cream so much because to me that feels like he is trying to break the cycle of being bad parents and that he dealt with as a kid.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I thought him just the simple fact of him doing something nice, like giving her ice cream, and made me feel like he was trying to break that cycle. And that's such a cool thing for for them to be able to add to that villain.
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait for her show.
Oh
That's gonna
yeah,
turn out really good.
so saying that I'm that with the trailer. So the only time that they had dialogue in it was Kingpin's and voiceover, and
Yeah,
I kind of hope that's the only dialogue in the show because I kind of like the idea of them trying to do a silent show to match the fact that she is deaf. I think that would be really cool.
I did notice on the scene where she kicked the chair at the guy, you all you hear is ringing, and then you hear muffled
Yeah.
noises. I think that's gonna be unique to hear you because it's like you're
Mhm.
in her perspective.
Yeah.
And everything else, hopefully, when they show like the Indians or the Native Americans like dancing and stuff, we hear the music and
Mhm.
see the culture. That is gonna make it for a much better experience. Plus, it's five
Oh yeah.
episodes and we get to binge
I think
them.
it'll be cool. I think it's gonna be so cool that show. It's not the kind of show that is really made for me because I love the like more silly stuff of a lot more. But I think that show's gonna be really well done, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy it for that fact.
Yeah, yeah. Something tells me we're gonna be surprised because I heard that her power is gonna come from her tattoos.
Yeah, one thing and I really hope with that show is that people don't act the same way with it that they acted with She-Hulk of being mad that it's not Daredevil's show. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
hope that they allow it to be Maya's show. The fans allow it to be Maya's show and don't get mad that he's not gonna be the main focus.
yeah. That's why I think that's part of the reason why they put them all out at the same time because you can get his episode out first and then they want those people gone. I think he's in episode 1 and that's it. So
I
get rid
think.
of those people. Everyone else just watch
Oh,
it. You know.
one thing though that I am hoping, and this is I'm probably not. This is probably. I'm sadly probably not going to be getting what I hope, but I hope that Kingpin is not just forever or one-eyed now. Now, I want when we get to the Daredevil Born Again that he's back to having both eyes at full strength, and it's not just now he's forever gonna be a one-eyed man. I feel like
On
was I feel like the fact that they just immediately a upon bringing back in Hawkeye did that just felt to me like I don't know about that.
I think he's gonna be healed. I mean, he already survived a gunshot in general to the eye, and that could have killed a regular person. But they beefed him up. They
Oh yeah.
beefed him up 1%. Like one of my friends said, he got McQ'd, like MCU'd, and like, yeah, they had to. I
Oh,
mean, look at him. He got hit by a
oh yeah.
car. He got blown up, and he got shot in one episode. He's fine. I'm sure his eye
Mhm.
will heal later. It's probably
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know, he has so
Oh.
much money too. He can get surgery to get it fixed.
Mhm. Is there anything
Yeah.
else for the actual Marvel film that we should talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
Uh, so we went through the whole movie. Okay, we can go back to Aladdin real quick. On the way to Aladdin, with them
Oh yeah.
bonding, playing double dutch and
Yeah.
rock paper scissors. Some people hated that scene and said it was stupid, but honestly, what else are they
That
gonna do?
I
Travel
Oh my
how to
god.
play?
I loved that. I loved that scene. That's what I meant by like them hanging out. I enjoyed that so much. So we're actually seeing them live as and be real people. Real people aren't just as only fighting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 'cause they had to pass time somehow to
Yeah.
go from Earth
Oh
to
yeah.
Aladdin. Bond. That's
Hmm.
exactly a moment we needed.
Oh yeah.
Also, I have no problem with their Aladdin suits. Now I see where they came from because she said,
Yeah.
after the singing, she said, "Can we get something more battle ready?" And that was nice.
Yeah.
And oh, I laughed so hard on that scene where Prince Jan stopped singing and she said, "Oh, you mean he doesn't have to? He doesn't have to sing?" He said, "Yeah, he's bilingual." Like that. That
That's great.
That was great. Like the way
Uh,
she said it so fast, her comedic timing was perfect. I love the way they added so much emotion to Carol in this movie. It made her
oh
a
yeah.
much better
I
character.
Oh my god, I absolutely loved when and Carol first finds out what they're doing with the Flurkins ends at the end of the film, and she's just like, she just goes running after them. Like that was so cute.
Yeah, yeah. See, they like
I the Flurkin eating people to rescue them. Maybe my favorite part of the film. I had so much fun watching that.
I did too. Like, and we only had 11 people in my theater, but we all laughed. We all had a great time. I just even love the announcer was saying, "Everybody, do not run. Let the cats eat you. You will be fine."
Yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
funny. It was
I
genuinely funny.
I thought of the sign that I thought about after watching the film. Um, have you ever heard of the '80s sitcom Alf?
No.
So basically, it's a show about an alien that came down to Earth and lives with his family. And one of his defining traits is he eats cats. They don't, and they won't let him eat the cat. I was thinking well, about how funny it would be a Alf in this scene. Like at first he's like, "Oh my god, it's a buffet of cats," and then immediately when he sees some they're eating people, he would just start running away, be like, "Oh my god, no, 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 run, run! The food is eating people."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, is Ralph some kind of Muppet or something?
Yeah, Alf is kind of a Muppet. Yeah, um he's a very furry short alien with a big nose.
Oh, I seen that picture somewhere. Yeah, yeah. I seen that.
Let me see if I can and pulse eye up. There we go.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I would be so funny if him in that scene if he like he sees he's all these baby kids but they see that they're eating people and able. And it would just would just make me laugh so much as a fan of that show.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep getting up. I have
It's
a baby
it's all
here,
right.
my puppy. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible, but she keeps trying to chew on shoes and everything.
It's all
No.
right.
But yeah, so no, that flirting scene was genuinely funny. There's no other way they got everybody off. Because what happened?
Yeah.
Darby jump points destroyed the ship's power, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
So there's no other way. You condense the whole crew and just fill up a
Yeah,
ship with
yeah, that was absolutely genius. Genius. Like
because they're go
before
ahead.
that happened, I feel like most people probably would have been wondering why did they decide to introduce a lot of Flurkins? And
Yeah,
then they
yeah.
did that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The trailer when they showed all those cats running down, at first I was like, we gotta get cats again. But then when they utilized them,
Oh yeah.
that was the best. Like I can't even imagine another way they can be utilized. Like all of a sudden Goose had
I
babies.
I particularly loved when Kamala grabs one, it just starts aiming them at people.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was so good. And they even put up shields to force people to stay in the area.
That
Oh
yeah.
man.
Brilliant scene. So let's see. Because every Marvel movie has three fight sequences. There's the house, Aladdin, and the final battle with Darben, but then that cat scene amplified it. And of course, they're bonding. That's why I say this movie's a 4.5 out of 5. There's
Yeah,
nothing
this
I
is
can complain about. It's too
oh
good.
yeah. This is um I've been thinking back and to be honest, out of the three films we've gotten from Phase Five, like even though Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is really high up there,
Hmm.
I kind of think this might be my favorite out of the three we've gotten from Phase 5. This one's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah. And it's because, I mean, Guardians is a masterpiece in itself, but that's the end. Like
Yeah.
you could feel the sense of finality, and it was very, very sad on Rocket's parts, but it was a
Mhm.
very great movie.
Oh
But
yeah.
the Marvels is fun, not enough emotion like
Mhm.
that one, but it's two different
It,
tones, two different directors,
the
and we have to get
Marvels to me felt like one of the most fresh things we've gotten in the MCU. Fresh feeling things. It's unlike anything we've gotten before.
yeah, and see people will say, "Oh, this is just like everything else. This is slop." I hate that word so much.
Oh yeah.
This is
I
conveyor content. No. If
I've
you
I've gotten so tired of the people who say quality over quantity. Like that pisses me off now hearing that.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, for me, I've been on trouble. I've been in trouble with Twitter for like 2 months now. Ever since that Martin Scorsese tweet. I don't know if you saw it, like with the Wolf of Wall Street versus Miss Marvel. I put John Campea said, which he did. It just turned to me because I said I never saw the movie, and I just don't like Martin Scorsese because he keeps dissing what I love.
Yeah,
And
like
you know,
honestly, like I don't have anything against anyone who likes Martin Scorsese stuff, but it really does annoy me how he keeps trying to piss off Marvel fans and act like Marvel films should not exist or they should not be the main thing that are people are watching at the box office. And I look at him like, just let people enjoy what they enjoy, dude.
yeah,
And we have so much awful shit happening in the world. We need popcorn movies that let us just turn our brains off.
yeah. Let people enjoy things. Like I saw The Wolf of Wall Street. Uh, people people told me that movie is better than the entire MCU. Why? Like all he did was drugs mostly and sex and that's it. He just wanted to get rich. He got busted. I don't see what but everyone likes different
Yeah.
things. I got in so much trouble with this real movies versus
God.
Marvel. And you know,
Mhm.
everything in existence that's filmed with a crew and actors and put in theaters to make money is a movie.
Yes.
I not care what they say.
Mhm.
But just back to the positivity in the Marvels. The
Oh yeah.
only thing missing from that movie was a little bit of mourning for Monica being gone and trapped. They kind of jumped
Hmm.
out of that quick. It was a quick hug and back to
Yeah,
Earth. And
yeah, I
then
can understand that.
and I thought there was gonna be a Dragon Ball Z type of fight because when Darben put those up and like put her hands together, I thought they were gonna like be flying back and forth like ping pong balls, just like space ping pong, just hitting the ship and everything. But she died immediately, and that was too much power for her, which is
Yeah.
fine. Other than that, the movie's perfect.
Oh
It's
yeah.
literally perfect.
One thing. When I messaged you asking you to come on for this, so I particularly asked, did you like the film? The reason I asked that is because I wanted to make sure this review was mostly, if not all, positivity, because I am so tired of the negativity with Marvel lately,
Yeah,
especially since I've been enjoying what they've been putting out. So, or at least for the most part, I have. So, I'm like, I don't listen to anybody talk about Marvel stuff anymore because I'm just so tired of either that of people shitting on the things I'm liking.
yeah. No, I loved everything they put out too. I
Yeah.
can't say anything bad about Quantum Mania.
I really enjoyed that, and I feel like I think that I think people who are like, oh, they dared have ants defeat a K. Ants are really fucking strong in
Yeah, I
real
mean,
life. Like they're really strong. If you made them have millions of years in advancements, of course they're gonna be able to be powerful.
and yeah, I mean, and they're human sized. They were human sized ants with human level intelligence. And I mean, whatever, no matter what people say, he didn't get beat by ants. They just kind of messed up
Yeah,
his technology. It was still Scott and Hope that beat him.
yeah,
It just
and
helped out.
and the hate for them beating him, be like, oh, it's just Ant-Man, it's just the Wasp. But like, they're still Avengers.
Yeah,
They are still decently powerful people. They're not just normal humans that owns at this point.
that's why I said they are the most dangerous people if you let them get inside you. Look what
Mm-hmm.
happened with
Oh yeah,
Ink in episode 3 of What If. That was crazy.
yeah, yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
one man, you know?
they did that with him. After that whole thing of people wanting Ant-Man to explode Thanos, um, that was also parodied in the DC show Legend of Tomorrow, where they had their version of a character that can turn small, go inside of, I think it was Rasputin, and explode him, and
They
there was
sure
blood
did.
everywhere.
They sure did do that, huh?
Yeah,
The Atom did that.
yeah.
And then the boys made up for it because the boys came after
Oh
because
yeah,
they like
they went crazy with that. And, I
yeah, and
remember that scene.
that was a sex scene, but it's just that
Mhm.
this is why I can't take the boys serious because they have no content without Marvel and DC. They're just made to make fun of everything. But yeah, they since Disney can't provide that type of stuff, so they did it,
Mhm.
which means nothing to me. People that gets into the horny, overly sexualized people that want that so bad. And that I've noticed that started when Loki came out. Loki episode 3, 2 years ago. Once he said he was bi, it opened up the floodgates. But I didn't know that behind the scenes they wanted that show to be about sex and him going around having sex with everybody. It's like the creators lost focus on what they were making.
Oh, speaking of yeah, Loki and like what they wanted to make. Do you remember when Loki was originally announced? The show is not anything like what it was originally announced to be. It was supposed to be him going around history, messing with it, just messing with history.
Yep, yep. And
And what they actually came out with was nothing like that. And while I like what we got, I really do think it would have been cool to see what that original idea was.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be. They said it's a crime thriller, and they showed him being BD Cooper and changing. What he not changing. Like he was the man that jumped off the plane and escaped back in the
Mhm.
day. That was cool, and it flipped. But I guess crime thriller. The crime thriller part is you became a cop for the TVA, and
Yep.
you're stopping variants of yourself from doing other things. So that was a whole flip.
Yeah.
And
Something
yeah.
I want to ask you about. This is something I've talked to some friends about out there. That I kind of felt both with Eternals and with Loki after season two. Um, I feel like they've both of those created threats that are too big, in that that it almost to me makes them feel like they do not matter, because it absolutely has to be just the characters in these shows that those and movies that deal with him, because nobody else but the Eternals could defeat the threat that the Eternals are dealing with, and nobody else but the people in Loki could actually be able to deal with the threat in Loki. That to me, it almost makes them feel disconnected, acted, and not as important, because of having such big threats. Am I crazy in that idea?
Um. Well, when it comes to Loki, if you know the season two, oh, I'm sorry, season one, there was no such thing as branch timelines. They were traveling within the
Mm-hmm.
sacred timeline to any time period. The 1800s, 2050, I think is as far as they went. And that's all they had was the sacred timeline. Once Sylvie opened it, everything in season two were branches.
Mm-hmm.
There was not one thing that affected the MCU.
Yeah,
And you can watch that show at any point within your next rewatch. It doesn't affect anything because they're focused on their own story, which made it better because you don't
yeah.
need,
It,
regardless of even if I did hear Squadron Supreme was coming. I finished that show satisfied,
mm-hmm.
and we
Like
didn't get them.
I I really enjoy Eternals, and I really enjoy Loki, but I just have this feeling of, if you create a threat so big that only the people in your show can handle it, it kind of really does make you feel put off from the rest of the world, put off from the rest of the universe, are separate. And that was something that I with the later seasons of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, that I started to feel sad about, was this feeling of it starting to feel disconnected from the rest of the universe. And I love the connected feeling of in between stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean for Eternals. It's as if they never happened
Yeah, like,
because they
oh,
did not interact with anybody
mm-hmm,
with because they wanted to keep the connection small but still show you, oh, we've been here the whole time. But look how they wrote it. It could be perfect. They wrote it so let's see, Icarus is dead, Gilgamesh is dead, Ajax is dead. Sprite is now human, so she can grow. I don't know if she has her
mm-hmm.
power.
We have
Let's see. Kingo, Cersei, and Phastos were kidnapped,
mm-hmm.
while Makari, Druid, and Athena went after them.
Yeah, so
There's no one
it
left.
almost feels like it doesn't matter.
It does.
Even though it's bigger than any threat that we've dealt with in the MCU before.
Yeah, it just feel like they're not there because like that made no sense to say, oh, we're only gonna fight with when deviants are involved. We can't interrupt with human
Mhm.
history.
And
You did.
it made and like I loved watching Eternals, but like things like um them making out the world is just this small thing that the and used for the Celestials, makes it feel like everything we've seen before is not important. It makes it feel ill small in comparison.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I said before they had to force a ramification now. They
Mm-hmm.
even took Eternals out of Moon Knight. They had four of them in that show. They had four of them in that show, and Moon Knight was another result of them showing, telling, and not showing. When they showed when Arthur Harrow said Alexander the Great was Amit's Avatar, right? That's the word.
Yeah.
Was on his avatar and he betrayed her. And there was a fight with Alexander the Great and some Eternals back in the day versus Deviants. They took him out because that show, man, it was good for what it was, but did you have to take out every fight scene? Like, come on. Those were
Yeah.
literally 2 minutes each that they could have kept in the show.
Mhm.
And they always make the
Uh,
excuse, oh, budget, timing. And someone tried to justify it by saying, well, he was fighting with his mind. I was like, no, don't know. That's an excuse. They're like, budget and timing is
yeah.
unfortunately what they went through.
One thing, I though the big thing that annoys me with Moon Knight is how little they actually did with his Jewish faith. But the but one one thing separate from that was a big thing that annoyed me with that show. Oh, and this is something that could have been fixed with more time. And I think things that I would hope though are cut on, not that they just never or were supposed to be in there, is I think there should have been, between every time that um the third altar came out, since so after every time that happened, they were like, did you do that? Did you do that? No, no, we didn't. And then they never have a follow-up conversation about that. and
Yeah.
and that pissed me off, because I was like, if there's someone inside of your body that's killing you, that's killing people, and you know it's neither of you, would not that be a sign that you would want to have an extended conversation about, and not be like, every time that happens they forgot that it happened the previous time.
Yeah, that was such a waste in terms of that. Like they could have fleshed out Jake throughout the whole season. They only showed him just for the end. And what did he say? It's your turn to lose in Spanish. And what does that mean for the next time we see him? Is he going to be just a Spanish speaking hero now?
I
Because
don't know.
Mark and Steven wanted to be let go.
Yeah.
Jake didn't. So it's like I
Mhm.
what if they just have him since Moon Knight is now a Hispanic person, does that mean we're going to have a Spanish speaking hero only? Uh, and that's actually going to be brutal and not have scenes taken out. I I want all
Uh,
those back.
um. Oh, yeah. So I think I would like to talk a little bit about before ending this off. What did you think of the a What If season 2 trailer? Did were you a fan of season 1?
Yeah, yeah, I loved every
Okay.
minute of it.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. Let's see. Doctor Strange was the best. I just love that they put a whole team together and actually tied it up with something by the end. Um, let's see. Captain Carter was good. T'Challa was great. That was golden
Okay.
because, of course, that was Chadwick Boseman's last performance.
Mm-hmm.
Thor episode was the most fun, and what an
Yeah,
insane fight.
I had so much fun with the yeah, with What If season 1, and the season 2 trailer definitely looks like it's gonna be as much fun to me.
They doubled down. There's things I asked for in the MCU that I mean, there's things I wish that happened that I'm getting in this show
Mm-hmm.
because I literally said
Okay.
multiple times how nice it would be to see Hank and Janet in their
Okay.
prime.
Yeah, you know, I remember a lot of people really did not like the um Avengers Murder Mystery episode, and
Mhm.
I watched it and I was like, this is so cool. The
That
idea
was cool.
of being able to have a murder mystery with superheroes, I would like them. That's one that I think would make for a really cool thing, that they could actually turn that into into like a movie length thing. Um, like you could get Ryan Johnson to direct it, acted like the did the Knives Out film films. I think that could be really cool. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, do you want to tweet that?
I've done that before, or I've said that before, and it's like, yeah, I love the idea of an Avengers murder mystery, And that gave me that. I also found it. I like most people hated the fact that they killed off Iron Man so many times in that show. I found it hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like they had to show you that this world can survive without him,
Hmm.
which it has, and people just
Yeah.
won't get like he died 5 times. He got like nothing. Even the zombie episode. Okay, let's see. Zombie episode, Killmonger episode,
Mhm.
murder mystery episode, Vision episode. That's 4.
Mhm.
And then they couldn't even show him for Sakaar because they saved it. They had to cut that out,
Yeah.
which means at least we get another full Iron Man episode just to
Hmm.
have a taste of something. And he's coming back for Christmas too,
Oh yeah.
whichever that.
I've so with the season 2 trailer, we got scenes from that Christmas episode, and you know I know that a lot of people are not excited for that. They're like, oh, I don't know why they would do Happy Hogan Saves Christmas. I'm like, this is gonna be Christmas in the MCU. I want more of that. I love that kind of stuff. That's so
We
much fun.
we 100% need to continue all holiday events.
Yeah.
That made it. This is why I love Disney Plus so much. And Phase 4, they
Yes.
gave so many avenues to see. It blows my mind. It made me the happiest, and
Oh
I can
yeah.
appreciate everything in
I
Phase 4, and I can appreciate everything that came
Mhm.
before that too, because
Yes.
it's
And
all
it honestly saddened me that they listened to the fans that complained about Phase 4, because I was loving what they were giving us in Phase 4 so much, and the fact that they were experimenting with different genres and giving stuff for groups of fans that were not represented before, or and I loved that, and like I love the holiday stuff. That Phase 4 is honestly one of my favorite phases, is in the MCU because of all that. It's so much fun.
like that holiday special for Guardians is insanely good. I
Oh
watched
yeah.
it that month last
Hmm.
year.
Hmm. Um, the the holiday episode for or What If, I heard Can We Get Some Hosts say that it's going, even though it's called Happy Hogan Saves Christmas, it's apparently gonna have all the different Avengers, and they're gonna have festive outfits, which I
Yeah,
that's so cool.
yeah, that's cool. We're gonna
Yeah.
get more that we. I'm sure we're gonna get bonding moments and everything, and just stuff that makes
Yes.
those better.
And we're getting in that episode Darcy and Happy interacting. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, we need more of Darcy, and
Yes.
not only that, just think about the fact that Loki's sitting there in solitude and allowing this to happen. This is why they
Yeah.
dropped this Loki. Like, oh, they're brilliant. They
I
are
want
such a brilliant company.
for a long time people have been and saying it would be so cool to get whatever his name is as the Watcher in live action, and Jeffrey Wright. I It would be really funny if we just got a scene in him reporting back to Loki
Uh,
about what's going on in the multiverse.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like that could work really well.
Yeah, it could, because I forget, because Loki's in charge of everything now, just holding it together, but the
Hmm.
Watcher can see all of it happening. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean that would be cool to do. I mean, I don't know what happened earlier today. Somebody said that Loki's gonna end up being the actual villain of Secret Wars, and what a plot
That
twist
would
that.
be weird.
I mean, because now you take away his ultimate hero sacrifice and then just make him the ultimate villain. Like, whoa, I don't know
Yeah.
about that yet.
I don't think I could see that. That would be weird. Oh, I do hope that they figure out a way to make it that he doesn't have to be sitting there just the whole time forever, because I do want to get a moment of him and Thor seeing each other again, and you're not gonna be able to get that if he's just stuck in a multiverse chair, or holding
They
things together.
Yeah, they sure did say they need them to unite, and they had they had to get Loki to an emotional state where he's able to do
Yeah,
that. But
it's
yeah,
it's interesting. So, the at the start of the season, one of the writers did that interview saying that they're saying that we're trying to do we want to do lots more seasons of Loki. We want to get him to this emotional state where we can and have that scene of them meeting again. Then the other Loki writer at the end of the season was like, nope, nope, this was only supposed to be 2 seasons. This is the end of Loki. I'm like, huh? I think you and your co-writer need to talk to each other.
yeah. I mean, and at the same time, it's that ending was so satisfying. I don't know what they can do next. So that
Yeah.
all depends. Because now that he's holding everything together, just because he's there doesn't mean other versions of him aren't alive in every world. I my dream, my dream was to see the Loki from Thor episode of What If, that blue Loki, the frost giant,
Uh-huh.
which was one of the healthiest Lokis because he got to live life the way he's supposed to be from Jotunheim. I wanted to see that in live action.
That could be cool. I kind of though feel like the like Loki, even though he is a frost giant, he was always meant to be an Asgardian, and in how he felt about himself, and that's why he changed into being an Asgardian. I think, or into looking Asgardian, or in as a kid, and why finally at the end, and in Infinity War, he said he's Loki of Asgard. I feel like he always understood deep down that he is an Odin's son,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think
No,
that's a beautiful thing in there.
that's understandable. And because we can even think about it this way.
Mhm.
If it wasn't for Odin saving him in the beginning, none of this stuff would have happened. The
Yeah,
whole MCU would have never happened.
yeah.
Does that make Odin the best father of all time?
I don't know about that.
Because that without Odin, there wouldn't have been someone
Mhm.
to fight off the dark elves.
I uh, with Loki, something I still wish we could see is so because of that, because of the scene in episode 1 of season 1 of Loki, where he's like, he expressed regret for the fact they killed Coulson.
Yeah.
I want to see him going to the into like the Agents of Shield timeline, and go to Coulson, like say during season 1, while they were on the while they were flying around out in that plane, they had a bar, and just have a scene where it's Coulson and Olsen seeing Loki again. At that end, they sit at that bar, and Loki tells him, "I'm sorry that I killed you." I think that would be a really emotional scene that could be really beautiful.
That man, that would be a huge full circle, and then all Agents of Shield fans would be happy.
Like it wouldn't, and they don't even though I want Agents of Shield to be canon, and to do a scene like that, you don't even have to make it be canon to the main timeline. You can just have it that he's going into one of the other timelines, that are similar to the main timeline, and to do it, because the big thing there is how that what that does to Loki, not what that does to the timeline.
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand what you mean perfectly. That would definitely be good to do if they could.
Yeah.
See, you see how
Sadly, I
there's so
think
many
at this time,
possibilities.
I think at this point that may not be possible, but I do think that would be such a cool scene. To be honest though, what they could do is to say that if Loki concentrates on a certain timeline enough, he can make himself appear in that timeline. And though he's not physically there, but like an image of him is there. I could see them trying to do something like that.
Yeah, that's right. He can duplicate himself, huh?
Yeah.
He I wonder how long that duplication can last, though, because that was very cool in episode 2 for season
Mhm.
2. So, like, wow, there you go. That's a
Yeah, I
you
think
can
that could
tell
be.
they're gonna forget about that.
I think that could be a great way, since I feel like they have to have some way of including Loki in the next two Avengers films, especially if they keep the Kang arc, because he is so integral to that. I think he should be the one on if they keep the Kang arc to warn the Avengers. He should be the one going to them and being like, "There is people coming from every universe. You need to get ready."
And see, yeah, just even saying that, I'm sure since you said you watch Legends of Tomorrow also, I'm sure you know what I mean when I say that when they showed Rama Tut, Immortus, and they said
Mhm.
that robot one was Scarlet Centurion. I guess he just happened to be red though. Those three, when it comes to these next movies, they need to end King the way that they did Legends of Tomorrow. Fight him in every timeline within the sacred timeline with different teams. Oh, be
Pretty cool.
beautiful. It will be
Uh,
beautiful because you can take all the young Avengers, give them Rama Tut.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I was actually at one point I was thinking maybe what their plan was for our Avengers King Dynasty, since they hadn't announced any kind of Young Avengers thing. There was actually at one point part of me that was thinking King Dynasty will actually be the Young Avengers versus Kang.
yeah, young Avengers probably mixed with some the regular new Avengers
Like
too because they have to lose.
I was thinking it was gonna be sort of like they it would be like the Young Avengers fight him in there, and then at the end of the film they have to call upon the on the adults to help fight for Secret Wars.
Yeah, and then the adults,
That was,
and then
yeah.
like they said for Deadpool 3, the plot is to grab someone from
Oh yeah,
every, you know,
that's gonna be really cool. I'm I I feel like there's going to be some they're going to have really cool cameos in Deadpool 3 that we haven't even heard about yet from any kind of leakers. But there is a little part of me that hopes that they don't put too many in Deadpool 3 so that it doesn't lessen the impact of cameos in Secret Wars.
I think if anything, they're going to be able to capitalize off each other because when Deadpool 3 originally started filming, Holly Berry posted that picture about Patience on her profile with white hair specifically cut to look like Storm. She knew what she was doing. She's in there. Uh, James Marsden 100% is in there. Channing Tatum Gambit 100% in there. Rumors came out his scenes were already
Yeah.
done. And that's to make up for the fact he never got a movie. And that's a meta part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Him and
You know,
Ryan Reynolds.
one actor that nobody has talked about actually appearing in it, at least I don't think. And this is someone from the Deadpool movies, or at least Deadpool 2. Do you think that Josh Brolin will come back?
No, because what the plot leak is since he brought that time machine
Okay.
and messed with it, the TVA took that from him and
So,
said, "We will not arrest you if you go back to your world and stay there."
okay. I kind of think a sign that could have been cool would have been if we saw all like a scene of Cable and some universes is Thanos interacting, and them both being played by Josh Brolin, and or even Josh Brolin just coming back as Thanos, so we can get a moment that is a reference to how the relationship between Deadpool and Thanos in the comics with Lady Death.
I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be
Uh,
cool. The whole thing about Lady Death though is that they said audience members would not be able to understand that concept, so they just took her out and gave Thanos an actual meaning to why
mhm.
he's.
I think for if it was in a Deadpool film, they would absolutely be fine with it. And and especially since it would be in another universe, it's not part of it's not the main universe of Thanos. But I think that could be really fun. Um, I hope that they get all of the 2005 I've Fantastic Four back for it. I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, possibilities are endless.
Mm, uh,
That Chris Evans would have to come back, but I mean,
yeah.
hey.
You know, I've heard people being it's sad because Eric Bana said no, he will not come back for as the 2003 Hulk with any of these multiversal shenanigans. But I'm like, they don't need him to come back. They can just bring a 2003 Hulk in, and it's just completely CGI. The Eric Bana didn't do the voice for the Hawks in that, so they can just have him come back as CGI, and
Yeah,
it would work well. The only Hawk where you really actually need the actor is if they were to bring Lou Ferrigno Hulk in, which I would love if they did that.
yeah, he refused though. He
He
refused.
he would like I remember he was very angry about their use of CGI a few years ago. But I feel like if Kevin Feige talked to them, they could get over any kind of beef and he would be he feels like the kind of person who would like coming back for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, talk to him as in give him that good check,
Yeah,
a
and
Hulk
I,
check.
and I don't think he would even ask for that big of a check since he's not in that big things lately. So he doesn't he's not gonna be like Robert Downey Jr. where he's asking for like $100 million.
Yeah, because didn't Robert get paid a total of 50 over his time in the MCU?
I thought he had like for the two Avengers films he had like made like $100 million or the two final Infinity Saga Avengers films that he's in. I thought he made like 100 million between them or something like that.
I think that would have been too much because doesn't paying an actor count towards the production budget, or is that the actor's
I
pay
mean,
and then the budget's
uh,
different?
well, I think it may count, but they did say that the combined budget between those films was $1 billion.
Yeah.
So I could absolutely see them doing a thing 1/10 of the budget going to him.
So it's like you do that. What do you have left for the movie? You're gonna have a lot of you
Yeah.
know, struggling
Uh,
VA artists again. And we don't want
another
that.
another character that I particularly think would be really fun to get to see a comeback in Secret Wars, and they can do it with CGI or they could do it practically. A Have the '80s Howard the Duck pop up.
Man, I want him so bad. I wish James Gunn did
Oh
something.
yeah, he
I
like so Howard the Duck is a really interesting thing to me for the MCU because Leah Thompson, who was in the '80s film, she went to Marvel Studios a few years ago and suggested a Howard the Duck film, pitched it to him, of which she wanted to direct, and they told her that they have plans for Howard the Duck. We haven't
Mm.
seen anything since then. I'm very much interested in what they were talking about.
Yeah, because you can easily put Howard the Duck and Rocket on the same team and have them go at it Suicide Squad style, like taking out
Oh yeah,
enemies, competing to see who could take out enemies the best. That's
I'm.
already some fun things right there. Then you just got to build a story around
Oh
it.
yeah,
Like,
I want them to bring Howard the Duck, I guess, back to Earth since he popped up in the Endgame battle, but back to Earth Earth and to cross over with She-Hulk because that's something that happens a lot in the comics.
oh, him and She-Hulk.
Yeah, they have had multiple adventures together in the comics, and those adventures are very wacky.
Yeah. Yeah, and also he can fit in Spider-Man Neor's universe.
Oh yeah, he
And
like that could be so much fun. And just get having what having him come back from the '80s version of him in Secret Wars would be so cool. Because that was like one of, if not the first or theatrically released Marvel film. So that I think that would be a really cool full circle moment. And and they have you seen the '80s Howard the Duck film?
yep.
At
Hmm.
at the beginning of that, when they have the monologue, that literally sounds like they're talking about multiverse there. With like they talked though how I think technically it was supposed to be just for different worlds in the universe, but how they describe things definitely sounded like multiverse. Or in that beginning speech.
Was multiverse even around at that time?
I don't know. But yeah, they let me see if I can find that in that speech. I see.
Because I know there's a 1980s Secret Wars, right? A 1980s, no, 2015.
Mm, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find this. I can't. I can't find it, but whatever. I'll have to find it later and send it to you. But yeah, it they have it's just this voiceover from a narrator, and it's basically just supposed to describe how I Duck World versus him being on Earth, and it definitely makes it sound like Duck World isn't a just another planet. That it makes it sound like it's another universe.
Yeah, yeah. And see, even saying that, I know it may sound crazy, but you could easily have Howard the Duck, Rocket, Cosmo,
Mm-hmm.
Spider, you know,
Oh
animal
yeah.
character. There's That's
I
why this franchise is limitless.
mm-hmm.
There's
I
so
hope that they go wacky like that for Secret Wars and don't just bring back like the most iconic of the characters. Or just let it go in extreme directions where actions bring back even the smallest superheroes. Like you could have um the Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man from the '70s, his TV show, or the Japanese Spider-Man, and also from the '70s, is or you can have like the characters from Spider-Verse come in, and they're literally just animated in amongst all these live action heroes. I think that would be they could go so wacky with Secret Wars, and I really hope that they do.
yeah, yeah. They shouldn't back out of anything because like every time they do reshoots, they kill creativity, I would say. Even if I did love it and you find out information later, you know?
You know, I remember her back when the Marvels got pushed to November. I remember so many people being like, "Oh, but this is going to change the film so much, and it's going to make it better." And I was like, "I think the film's already good, and it's either gonna stay the same or it'll be worse." Based on what we've seen based on what's been shown with reshoots, a lot of times reshoots seem to make things worse, and delays seem to make things worse. They don't make things better than they were gonna be.
Yeah, because now I can't even for Brave New World, I can't imagine what they're gonna possibly
Oh
do
God.
in 5 months of reshoots. I know Israel
Yeah,
versus
I'm.
Palestine. They
Yeah,
have an Israeli hero. I'm sure they're gonna make Sabra a force of good, and it's just bad timing once again.
yeah.
What
It's
can you
gonna be.
possibly?
Yeah, like you get an idea of what I mean of I don't think reshoots and delays are ever this great thing is like you look at stuff like Dark Phoenix, Morbius, or is New Mutants, and they got so many reshoots and so many delays, and then when the finished products came out, I haven't seen a New Mutants, so I can't speak on that. But at least the others, they're absolutely awful after all of the pushbacks and acts and reshoots. It's like this isn't actually this thing that's just going to instantly magically make a film's change for the better.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think you should give New Mutants a chance, just as a
Yeah, I
Marvel fan.
want to see it at some point. I just has to check it out. To be honest, I kind of want to watch every Marvel movie in existence at some point, even though even ones that most people consider awful, just to get a chance. Since like if I can like sign like Howard the Duck, even though most people hate it, then I feel like there's a chance I might enjoy some of these things like the Daredevil film or the Elektra film from the 2000s.
You didn't see
I've
those?
never seen those before. Or yeah, I'm trying to think. I think there's some others I haven't seen, but yeah, I haven't. I think there was um a man thing in one that was on sci-fi in the 2000s. I've never seen that. I feel like if I can enjoy something like that, like Howard the Duck, even though everyone hates it, there's a chance I might enjoy those or the lesser known and usually hated Marvel films of the 2000s.
Watching Daredevil, you will see why Charlie Cox will need his own movie because that movie's actually very decent. I'm sure you've probably seen people talk about the playground scene. That's the only bad scene. The movie is very decent.
I think I've heard of that, but I've never paid attention to anything people said about it. The film, to be honest. I have heard that the extended version of it is better than the theatrical.
Yeah, yeah. Now that I haven't seen, I would need to buy that or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do honestly really want to go back and watch every Marvel thing that's ever been put out to see what do I actually enjoy out of them and what do I not like. When I've heard in recent years so many bad things about the Ghost Rider films from the 2000s, but when I was younger and I watched those, I enjoyed those. So I kind of want to go back and see as an adult, am I still gonna enjoy those?
You probably won't because even I can say those are the two that I can't stand. They only have good shots, but they no
I
they
I
yeah they
think the only thing about them that I could probably say that I think I would probably enjoy going back and watching them is I love Crazy Cage, Age and Crazy Nicolas Cage. So moments of him acting crazy in those, I think I'll enjoy.
yeah that's one thing that's great. Too bad he said he doesn't want to come back to
Mm-hmm.
Marvel.
I think I feel like he's more being like playing a coy about it. Um I think he'll definitely come back for the next X Spider Verse film. Since he's said how much he's enjoyed being Spider Man Noir, and he was sad that they didn't ask him to come back for the second one. I wouldn't be surprised if they figure out a way to get him to come back as Ghost Rider for Secret Wars.
Uh, is he not in Beyond the Spider-Verse?
Well, so he wasn't in Across the Spider Verse, and we don't. I have no idea if he's gonna be in Beyond the Spider Verse, but I expect he probably will since they teased his characters coming back.
Yeah. I mean, he should be because he just made it such a different character. It even seems like Peter Nior is older, but he's probably 17. No, no, you can't be a 17-year-old detective.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's an
I
older
think
one.
he's older, and also he's said that in that world it's like the 1920s or something.
Yeah, the 30s. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like as he gets more into back into being in big films, he'll probably be more willing to come back, and they'll obviously give him a bunch of money for it. Yeah. So I think it's pretty good chance that he'll pop up as Ghost Rider, since he's a really big comic fan.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that's a pretty decent chance. And I feel like he would. I feel like he's the kind of actor who would like going back to previous roles of his and see if he can give a more deep a performance nowadays.
That's technically what he did with the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That was just like
Oh
dedicated to
yeah,
all these.
he was.
And
I loved that film.
that was a great movie. I just wish I would have seen the movies he's referencing though, because all I seen was Ghost
Yeah,
Rider.
I've seen some of them, but I did not. I had like probably at least half to three-quarter of those films that he references in that I have not seen, and um but I had a lot of fun seeing him try to play himself.
Yeah, yeah. That was fun.
Oh yeah. Trying to think. I don't think there's really anything else for us to talk about. So I'm start winding this down. Is there any last things you'd like to say before or end off this episode?
No, this was just very fun.
Hmm? Yeah, thank you for coming
It was
on.
fun to
I
talk.
really appreciate you coming on. Oh, all
You're
right.
welcome.
Yeah. All right. So thank you everyone for listening. If you like this gamma analysis, please go 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episodes. Please let me know. Like to, if you'd like to listen more from me, please subscribe. Many more gamma analysis from me coming. So keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Master John, signing off.